Carolina Students for Life, the pro-life student group at UNC from 2006 to 2008. She is currently in her second year serving as the president of Students for Life of America, the umbrella resource organization for the 480 pro-life student groups nationwide. After receiving her master's degree this May, Ashley hopes to work full-time with the pro-life movement. Now, she put one thing at the end of this, and I'm a North Carolina State fan. Go Heels!
I'm so glad Barbara actually said that ending part. We had a lot of shout outs earlier. I want to know how many pro-life students there are here today. Anybody? Oh my god, guys, be louder, seriously. Come on now. Thank you so much. Well, as she said, my name is Ash Tyndall. I am so happy to be here today doing the thing that is most important in the world to me, which is taking a stand for life. I'm even happier to see so many of you out in the cold doing the same thing. So today, Barbara asked me to come and speak to you a little bit about the student movement in North Carolina. This hat is coming off, sorry. And a little bit about what the youth in our state are really doing to further this cause. Before I do that, though, I'm going to make a little bit of a confession to you guys, the couple hundred complete strangers standing in front of me right now. I have to confess that on a very cold night, about as cold as it is right now, I was sitting with one of my best friends, who's the president of the UNC group right now, and we were talking about the way that the political and the cultural winds really seem to be blowing in this country. And I had a moment not unlike one that I'm sure many of you have had. I started to feel a little bit discouraged. Discouraged in our efforts, thinking maybe, what can we be doing? Can we be doing more? Is it enough? And luckily, I'm going to tell you that this moment didn't last too long. I want to share with you why. I have learned over the years, and I've been reminded many times by wonderful people, that through adversity comes the best work. And as pro-life activists, I know that all of us know adversity, right? If you're a student activist, you know what I'm talking about. And if you are a student activist in a place like Chapel Hill, you know the definition of the word adversity. So I want to share with you guys what keeps me fired up and what keeps me going. I've learned in my 6 years at UNC that nothing that I do in college, no date or party or exam or homework assignment, can ever be more important than the things that I can do in this movement. That doesn't mean that we get to not study for our tests. Believe me, I totally wish it did. But I think we all need to get over the idea that we don't have time for this kind of work. People my age are being targeted disproportionately by the abortion industry, basically. And so it's time for people my age to stand up and demand better for ourselves, demand better for our friends, our family, our peers. We're not too young, we're not too cool, we're not too busy to do work in this movement. And so I want to share with you a little bit about what youth are already doing. We have active student groups at UNC Chapel Hill, NC State, Duke, Belmont Abbey, ECU, Peace College, Meredith College. The list goes on and on. The list is on these stickers that we're going around in the crowd also. And these groups are doing amazing things. Some of them have been around for several years. Some are just forming in the last semester. But we all share a common vision and a common hope for a future in North Carolina that really respects life. We're hosting speakers. We're staging events. We're reaching out to pregnant and parenting students every day. We're offering them real resources and real support. We're changing the way that young people look at the issue of abortion. We're changing hearts and minds, and I know that we're saving lives every day. So this past October, UNC and NC State hosted a pretty big display called Justice for All. Were any of you guys out there? I know a couple of you were. We had over 100 pro-life volunteers that stood with this display. We sparked literally thousands of conversations across both campuses. A similar display was held at Appalachian State last spring. NC State student president Sarah Hardin, is she here today? Maybe? I don't know, probably. You should congratulate her if you see her. She was recently on Fox News' Hannity and Combs in an undercover expose of Planned Parenthood covering up a statutory rape.
Yeah.
It was an absolutely amazing story. This coming April at UNC, we'll be hosting Bernard Nathanson. He is perhaps the most famous former abortionist. He was a co-founder of NARAL, Pro-Choice America, and is actually pro-life now. He speaks out very strongly against abortion. I know that in less than a week, students from high schools and colleges across the state are going to be traveling up to Washington, D.C. to represent North Carolina in the National March for Life and also the Students for Life of America Conference, which I am very excited about. This conference, by the way, started a couple of years ago as a very small event and has since evolved into the largest and most successful pro-life conference of any kind in the nation. Last year, our attendance capped at 800 students from across the country. So absolutely amazing. Barbara mentioned our statewide group that we're just starting right now to unify the pro-life college students across North Carolina. Our very first statewide conference is in less than a month, hosted by Belmont Abbey College. And it's definitely not just college students. I know St. Thomas More Academy is out here today. Yes, there's some over there. I know some high school students from St. Thomas More spent a Saturday morning a couple of weeks ago sidewalk counseling. If you guys have ever stood in front of an abortion clinic on a Saturday morning, it is an incredibly intimidating experience. I was sleeping in this Saturday morning, I'll confess to you. But I got the best wake-up call that a person can possibly get, a phone call from a friend of mine who teaches at St. Thomas More to tell me that that morning his students had saved 2 babies. Amazing things going on. So I know there are a lot of students here today. A lot of you may be going off to college in the coming years. I just want to encourage you to seek out the groups at your school. There are 480 active college groups right now. If your school doesn't have one, start one. Students for Life of America will help you do it. We will guide you through the process every step of the way. You are not alone in this. If you're not a student, the student movement still needs you. We need your support, your volunteer hours. We need to know that you are behind us so that we can keep doing the amazing things that we're already doing. I'll be at the North Carolina Right to Life table after the march today. Come talk to me if you have questions, if you're looking for a group, or if you just want to find some way to get involved, come talk to me. So I want to conclude by telling you that I'm sure that we're all going to have those little moments of discouragement like the one that I had a couple months ago. But I'm staring out into this beautiful crowd here today, all of us freezing our tails off, and I know that I will never have a moment of despair in doing this work. And so it sounds kind of like a strange choice of words, but I find myself rejoicing in the opportunity to be able to do something so important with my time and with my energy. So I hope you'll join me. Let's be the change we wish to see. Let's take the pro-life movement forward, and I hope to speak with you after the march today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Aren't we fortunate to have such attractive, intelligent young people that are heading up the pro-life movement and speaking out for life? God bless them. That's not to say that those of us who are not attractive can't do the